This is Patrick from EasyFX Code Trading System, and it's Saturday the 2nd of May 2020, and this is the weekly analysis for Euro, Cable, and the Aussie dollar for the first week of May next week. And let's take a look at all three pairs at the moment. For last week, there was dollar weakness, and all three major pairs gain on the US dollar until Friday, which was the first day of May of the new month. But prior to that, they were all pushing for a positive close for the month. And especially after the FOMC announcement, after their rate announcement on a Wednesday, where they kept rates unchanged, but then on Thursday, after the ECB announcement, the Fed announced further expansion of their stimulus program, and this weakened the US dollar further and gave a boost to Euro and the pound on the Thursday for a bullish close. And this week there is the RBA and the Bank of England's turn for their rate announcement and further monetary policy announcements, if there's any. All right, let's kick off with the euro dollar. And on Wednesday, it finally broke above the upper trend line of the descending wedge, and we're expecting this breakout higher after pullback to retest the trend line. It took off and it was just right at the 10 o'clock announcement from the Federal Reserve, and it gave a bullish reason for both euro and the cable to push up higher. And even on Friday, the euro managed to test the 110 resistance level and retested the previous trendline extension before pulling back, and it's managed to close above the 38.2 fib retracement level and still above the daily 55 EMA. So we'll see whether there's further bullish momentum for this coming week, and to see whether it can reach the daily 200 EMA. Alright, so this will now be an intermediate support, and we will see what the new monthly pivot is for next week. Right above the 110 is the daily 200 with the 50% fib retracement, so that's a key resistance area. Alright, but there's likely going to be some pullback first next week before any further gains. And the ECB did also announce further stimulus measures, and initially it took a dip before the FOMC announcement, and then that gave it a reason to rally. And this coming week, there's a couple of PMI figures, manufacturing and services PMIs, but nothing major. Let's move on to the cable. And after bounce off the support at the 50% fib retracement level, as well as the lower channel trend line, the cable got off to a good start for the week and rallied all the way until the weekly R2, where we had marked an intermediate resistance zone. So that's still going to hold, and we'll see whether this 125 zone is going to be a support or still going to be a strong resistance level, along with the daily 55 EMA. So for now, we'll leave it as a resistance, and right here we'll change this to support here at the 50% fib. So the key extension, if it's going to go further up, is it's got to try to hit the 78.6 fib retracement level of this down move. But for now, it could consolidate for next week, first half of next week, before it perhaps find support again from the 125 zone before it takes off higher. And it needs to break the daily 55 EMA to reach the 127 round figure level. So next week is a Bank of England rate announcement on Thursday, and prior to that, there's also a couple of PMI figures on services and construction. But we'll see what the Bank of England is going to add on for their monetary policy and for the stimulus programs, if any. So we need to watch out for that on Thursday. All right, but for now it looks like it's either consolidating in this potential ascending triangle, and could be within this up channel. All right, let's move ahead to this Aussie dollar. And as well as the cable, it did find support with a hammer off the daily 55 EMA, and there was also the monthly and weekly pivots for last week, and it rallied higher to eventually reach and break the 65 round figure level, which it had not reached since early March. However, on Thursday and Friday, it pulled back and retreated lower back to the lower channel and sitting right at the 10 SMA. So we'll see if this is going to be a resistance still. And if it has actually broken below the lower channel trend line, then there could be further retracement down to the next support level at the 63 round figure level. Next week as well, Tuesday, the RBA is set to announce their interest rate, and monetary policy will be later in the week on Friday. But they're not expected to change the interest rates, and they're going to keep this low for now for the next year or two, as announced by the governor a couple of weeks ago. So if this support doesn't hold at the 78.6 Fib, then it needs to find support further below. And if it does break out higher, it was going to attempt to reach the daily 55 near the 6650 area. But for now, it was did not manage to reach 66, so we'll see when it's able to retest that area. Alright, so it's a new month coming up, and we'll see it in the first few days of next week to see how the price action shapes up for the first week of the month. And last week the US dollar took a beating, and we'll see whether it's time for a recovery next week. Okay, so do check out my other videos on spot gold and dollar yen as well, and do take care and have a safe week, and cheers for now.